Welcome to Green Room Radio. My name is Tru. I got the lovely Domo Monster. And to my right, we got Albert, the other half of Project X.
Yes, sir.
Super James is DJing at I believe, a senior citizen home today.
Is it True Events or True Friday?
Yeah, called True Fridays. That's this guy that.
That's not your night.
Normally the co-host, he has a party and he names it True Fridays. That's fucked up. We're going to chat about that later. But, however, we have some very special guests in the house. We have Willem and Matt from the group Ground Score. And in case you're wondering what that is, I'm going to let Willem tell you. What is Ground Score, Willem?
I guess it's many things, but how do we look at it? It's, a turn of luck or... just maybe the universe giving back to you for your hard efforts.
It's kind of like finding $100 bill, or maybe even like, I don't know, a half a gram of Coke on the floor at a rave.
Manifestation.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's whatever you find on there. I know myself. I pick up pennies and shit all the time, but that's
the best stuff in life is free, of course.
Yes.
Exactly.
You'll be surprised what you find at rave just looking down.
Except, except escorts. I don't know. I'd be scared. I'd be afraid if one of them were like, "Hey, I'm free." Why? Why are you free?
That's no such thing.
There's no such thing, you said. So tell us, you guys. You guys are house music DJs. How did give me a little playback? First of all, Willem. So I know you guys are a new group. I think you said you've been together about a year and a half.
Yep.
When were you doing house music prior to joining Ground Score?
Yeah. Started DJing when I was a kid, like 14.
Okay.
Got my first new marks, and kind of a long story there, but my mom's house was like a hotel, and one time a DJ was staying there, and then the next minute he was on TV on a high-speed chase.
Wow, you definitely live in LA. That's
and
for
then,
sure.
And that's how you got inspiration?
Well, yeah. So then I think he got, I guess, locked up, and he never came back for those records, and there were a bunch of '90s. Break beats and hip hop, but a lot of house, and I just kind of started there. But so yeah, I've been into electronic music for a long time, and making it, and Maddie was making it as well, and then we just joined forces.
You got sick of partying alone, or being like.
And I always loved music as a collaborative effort. It's so different than like painting or something like that. It's a medium where, just due to the nature of itself being music and there's many instruments, it immediately calls for collaboration.
Something that you spoke on art. I know Domo said she met you through I believe it was James.
Right.
Paint the Town.
And so Paint the Town. So you're into art and graffiti and stuff like that as well.
Yep. Used to do more street art and stuff. But then I work for Shepherd Ferry.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So you do street art too?
Yeah, I used to do more of my own stuff, but I think music took over more.
Yeah,
and then you just don't have as much time when you're older, you know?
Yeah, no, exactly.
I mean, anyway.
You don't have time to wait for the paint to dry.
You can make beats in the meantime, but see, I had to make beats full time. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what ended up happening. But I still got to work too. So,
yeah,
there's that.
So coming, I guess you could say that you come from a rock and roll background. How does your dad feel about house music? That's what I know. You opened for him at the Roxy, Billy Idol.
Yeah.
How does he? One thing, we were watching him last night, and I looked at her and I was like, I wonder if he likes house music.
Right.
Is that something very brand new to him?
I think he likes dance music. He made dance tunes, even if they were rock and roll.
Yeah.
He was definitely, they were very, very groovy and sexy and dancey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So house has a lot of that stuff, and I know he'd like some tracks, others he wouldn't. You know, I mean, you can't like everything.
Yeah, it's a total different generation. I mean, he's even a generation beyond me, and I know Domo's a generation below me. I think you guys fall in that same category, but
yeah,
you know, at the end of the day, music's music. I mean, something we can say from we went and checked his show out last night.
Right.
You know, the any artist who's a real artist, I don't care how old you are, whatever, that shit is pouring out of him.
Right.
You know, we saw Eric Badu one time.
Literally, just the sweat pouring.
Like, just, yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, I mean, no matter what age, I mean, I always tell people this all the time. You either have it or you don't. And I mean, for as long as I've been in the music business, I had never witnessed an Erykah Badu show or a Lauryn Hill. And we just seen them pretty, over the past couple years. And I was just fucking shocked. I'm like, dude, these
Those
women,
are the top performers.
these women, like, they just bleed music. Like, they got it in their fucking soul and plant it forever.
But your mom was a singer as well, right?
Yeah.
So you're kind of, both parents are in the music.
What type
culture.
of a singer was your mom?
She sang on some of my pops records, and I know she did jazz singing later, and but she always performed and was a dancer, and so.
What does she think about your house music?
Yeah, and she, a big inspiration growing up.
Yeah.
She let me make a lot of noise, and if it was, whatever, trombone or whatever
wow.
else.
Oh, so you do play? Do you play other instruments?
Yeah, but just growing up, being that kid making all the noise from whatever instrument you're learning, usually it sucks for a long time. So
Yeah.
Or if it's DJing, I mean,
Thanks, Mom.
it's just two beats playing at the same time. It could drive you insane. So she dealt with a lot of stuff. So yeah, seriously, thanks, Mom.
So you said she kind of lived in a hotel. So did you guys live in kind of like a duplex type of?
No, it was a house, but it was my mom called herself Perry Lister, friend to the friendless. So she was just always had somebody on the couch, and sometimes they were really interesting, sometimes they were really interesting. So
How about really scary? Was there ever?
I'm trying to think.
Shit.
I don't
Domo here
know.
lived in a
Yeah.
scenario. It was actually a music executive's home, but he took basically like a mansion and he turned all the rooms. I mean, they had private entrances, but he turned it into like a monster house like that. And I'm like,
Yeah, that was
those
my
can
last
kind of get
house
those,
in
those
LA.
can kind of get.
Shout out mom number 2. Yeah, I was one of those guys on the couch.
Yeah.
That she
Oh,
let,
yeah.
that's part of the reason I met Will.
Yeah, so how did you guys meet?
Pull that mic
We,
in front of you, Matt.
We had a mutual friend named Jesse who was like, he was the guy I met my second day in LA, and we finished a bottle of tequila together. And he's like, "We're gonna be friends." And then he's like, "I gotta introduce you to my best friend, Will."
Oh,
And
nice.
so within like 3 days of living into LA, I was up at his house, and
Do you think he would have been your friend if you hadn't drank the tequila?
that's a deep question.
Tequila brings
but
friends
yes,
together.
absolutely, because we've both been unable to afford tequila and been sober together, and still have been friends. So yeah, I think we've proven that.
Good.
That's
but,
awesome.
The music's stronger than the.
Yeah.
Where
yeah,
did you come from? Where did you move from?
I was born and raised in New Jersey.
I should.
yeah, so
I
should've
just
caught
came
that
from
accent.
New Jersey. What part
I'm
of New
so
Jersey?
sorry.
Yeah.
No, I love New Jersey. I was born in New Brunswick.
Okay.
So right between New York City and
Yeah,
Philadelphia.
yeah.
So my only time going, I went with her one time. She did it. She did what do they
It's
do
the
out there?
same thing I just came from, Exotica.
Exotica, the
Oh,
The
nice.
porn
Yes.
porn
convention.
convention.
Awesome.
So we stayed in, what was that, Edison, New Jersey? Was that
Yeah.
right?
Actually, Brunswick was right there next to it.
Yeah, parts are beautiful. Like you
Yeah,
know,
they said Brunswick was kind of coming up.
yeah, like they're trying to make it better, but
They just got sanctioned, right? Their weed's legal there now?
Yeah.
yeah, they were fed up. Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think you
So
knew.
you got out of there.
I did. Yeah, my after college, I was living in New York City, and my one of my best buddies from growing up was like, I'm going out to LA to be in the entertainment industry. Are you coming? So we packed up and moved to LA, and then within 10 minutes got our car towed with everything. And
Yeah,
so it's
you
one
know
of those
what?
stories,
Hey,
so-
you know what? That is so funny.
Oh
I
my
moved
God.
to LA when I was 21, and then my car got totaled. Like,
Oh shit.
actually, right after I just fucking moved everything out of it. So it was,
Ah.
I used it for moving, and then
And then there it goes.
And
Yep.
then I just public transit. And actually, that's how I got into the street art, because I would walk around and I think Instagram was like super new, and I would just take a picture of like an art, and then I'd put it on Instagram, and then people started tagging the artist.
Okay,
and I
yeah.
was like, oh, this is kind of
this is cool.
Yeah.
I'm inside something. This is amazing.
So how long? So from when you got your car towed, was that basically your house being towed?
Yeah, we didn't have anything, and I think I had like $900 or like $1,000 to my name, and So yeah, I was sleeping in the car for a couple nights, and I picked up a job at this shitty little diner. And
was it called Pink's Hot Dog?
It's
No,
called.
just kidding. Shout out to
Would have been.
Pink's
I
Hot
probably
Dog.
would have been paid more.
Yeah.
No, it was called.
You said Big Boy?
No, it's called Barney's Beanery.
Oh, I know what that is.
Yeah,
Barney's.
and so I survived basically skimping food and getting to know the bartenders and whatnot, and then yeah, so finally got a car back and a little shack somewhere. In
Yeah, that
West
the
Hollywood.
Barney's. That's where it was, right on Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm familiar with that.
Yeah.
So you found your ways. So when you came out here, when you said to do music,
LA
was it to
hustle.
come out here to DJ? Or come to LA to DJ?
I was just coming out here because I just wanted to escape New Jersey mainly. I didn't really know what
the
was
snow
going- I
or
was-
the
It was just
people?
everything.
city
I
of
was
angels.
well, it was like at the time when like like Jersey Shore was like blowing up.
Oh,
and,
okay.
And I was like, I can't be associated with this any longer. I'm like,
Why not?
You didn't have the gel. and the
I wasn't one of those
hairspray?
Guido guys. I didn't do the
Yeah.
tanning and the
go to the
eyebrows.
gym?
and
Do the
whatnot.
eyebrows.
Shit,
Yeah,
tan line
I was, and so I was just a misfit from the get go, and so when I came out here, I bumped into Jesse and Will, and pretty much just found my kin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But you came out to be a DJ, or were you?
I
did you
came
come
out to just.
be,
I knew entertainment industry was in Los Angeles, and I was like, I'm just gonna take whatever comes my way because I'm not gonna. I know it's hard. I'm just gonna see where I can land, and then ultimately, just living in Los Angeles long enough, just going to bars, going to shows, being dragged to different venues, underground spots, warehouses, things
That's
like
what I
that.
was gonna ask because I'm an LA person, and
Yeah.
did you guys go to underground?
Yeah, and so
parties?
like a lot of my early exposure to stuff like that was like on the Skid Row, like the industrial area,
yep.
and so and I got to know some of these guys really well, and it was just such. It's one of those moments in life where you feel like you're really engaging at where you're supposed to be.
Oh yeah.
And so
when you
kinda
say
all just
that,
lined
is that
up.
because you're with the people on Skid Row, or are you like, man, I
No.
like,
Oh, totally.
Like,
I
man,
I
I
made
made
it.
it.
really
I
well.
made it. I got an apartment. I got it.
They'll literally have parties. I've taken you to a few of them.
Yeah, I remember Public Enemy actually.
Yeah, it's
performed
just
at
because the
Skid Row.
cops mainly
It's coming
would
back, too,
shut
like that
shit
spot.
down really quick, and so you'd have to go to a spot where just cops
Yeah.
didn't want to be in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so and honestly, like Will's dragged me to spots down there that were just like so far off the beaten path that you're like, okay, now I'm sketched out like really, and then you like open a door and it's like an
Yeah.
art gallery, and like there's like cheese plates and
Yeah.
disco going on, and you're like, what is going on?
People like boofing under the stairwell.
Boof it.
Yeah, what? Hey, hang on one second. Hold on. I haven't
People
heard that
boofing,
word.
people
Wait, hold
boofing in
on.
the dusty
Hold
under the
on.
stairwell.
What's your definition of
What's
boofing?
boofing?
That's doing it in the butt.
Yeah.
Okay. Hugh, are you familiar with boofing? Okay. Yeah, so boofing.
How familiar with boofing
Okay.
are you?
Yeah, boofing. So Domo here brought up boofing to me.
Actually,
and
my
some-
girlfriend.
your girl called it, yes.
Yeah, my girlfriend Rachel met
A boofer.
a fellow
Yeah.
from Seeking Arrangements, and that's what he wanted. And
Obviously,
I was like,
that's the boofer
and I
site.
was like, she's like, yeah, I boofed him. I was like, what the fuck is
Oh,
boof?
damn.
And then she broke it down, and I
Wait, I thought this
pegging.
was only
That's
when
pegging,
you
right?
smuggle
Yeah. Yeah.
shit like through airports.
No. Well, you could
That's
potentially say like I
what is it
boofed
called?
these drugs.
Oh.
You could, I
You could-
guess.
yeah.
Yeah, but
that makes sense.
and then it's
Yeah.
interesting that you can be pegging and boofing at the
Oh.
same
yeah,
time.
I
Okay,
mean,
But
So, hey.
pegging is when
Well,
a lady
first-
wears a
first,
big old
yeah, I
strap
learned
on.
what the boofing
And
was,
boofs,
and then
hey.
later I learned the pegging.
Hey,
Yeah.
so real quick, because
Gotta love LA.
pegging
That's
is
some
a
other
that's another topic.
It's a fetish.
Yeah. So
Fetish.
so have Willem or Maddie, have you guys been pegged before?
My booty hole's way too ticklish for that shit.
I was just gonna say because
They say, "Oh, you could come so good through your butt." I'm like,
Well,
"Well, it's never happening," because I start
Well,
giggling.
well, the reason I ask, I mean, how we keep the studio open is Domo, aka Onyx. She boofs people, and that's her boofer
I know.
right there.
Oh.
So that's the way we. I mean, not a boofer. I meant peg, the pegger.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, same thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
same.
mean,
we got what you
it's
meant.
not the same thing.
we gotta
Yeah.
ease them into it. it. Yeah.
Well,
We're trying to educate people on this
Yes.
program.
Well, yeah, it was crazy because it was a porn star
Right.
girl told her she said this guy boofed me, and then she even asked me, she's like, you know what boofing is? And I'm like, no, I don't.
It's just a new silly ass internet term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were talking about raves, and
Yes,
and
yes.
I was just saying that some of those raves, people will be boofing underneath the stairwell
Yeah.
in the dusty warehouse.
Well, you're feeling good music's playing.
But
so.
like you know, like you
So
know
you
that
just
they
wanna,
didn't
like-
know.
Yeah.
They didn't even know how much dust was around because it was so dark, and then like you would shine a light,
Yeah.
and y'all are having sex in like the dusty underneath the stairwell.
Oh God.
You're leaving silhouettes in the dirt.
Pretty much.
I would not.
How is the that underground scene in LA right now?
I wouldn't even know. I mean, after COVID,
Yeah.
even before COVID.
It started to die out.
Well, I'm sure it's cracking. I don't
we
like,
went.
I'm not with the popularity contest that is the scene in general, and I'm just
We went. We had
not
a
good at it.
It is kind of like a clique.
we had a
social
guy.
clique.
We went to a festival out there. I think it was an Insomniac festival, but we had a guy, and he was like telling us, hey, you know, I'm gonna give you the spots to go, and they were like kind of like. I think they're in the fashion district, but they're like,
Yeah, there's
they're
one in
kind
the
of like
fashion
bougie. Like I'm like,
district,
this,
and then
this
they
ain't
did
a fucking
day trip.
rave. A
Right.
rave
It
was
is
over in
dirty as
Long
fuck.
Beach.
Like,
Right.
Man, we used to call that the callejones back in the days. The fashion
Okay.
district.
Yeah.
bad-
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
the what?
The
Santee
callejones.
Alley.
Yeah.
Is that underwear?
They used to sell like just bootleg everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
They still.
They
They
still
still
do,
do.
yeah.
They like crack down on it. I always
Like
wonder
bootleg
Oh,
why.
jeans.
yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
know why they crack down on them and then just let them run every other day
It's
of
been
the
like
year.
that since the 90s. Like,
Yeah.
And then they'll
forever,
like
yeah.
have a little thing on the news like we're cracking down on the. It's like what is this
Yeah.
bullshit every
Yeah,
year?
yeah.
It's a little
LAPD
play
is
for
so
the-
funny.
Yeah, that's all it is to get voted on again.
Or whatever. There's always some reason for
Yeah.
this news thing you're watching. Like,
So what area? What area do you guys live in? What? just the
Hollywood.
general- Hollywood.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
alright.
I used to live at Cherokee and Yucca. Street.
Okay, yeah, that's the middle of Hollywood, right? Middle
Yeah,
of
Live
Hollywood.
there.
smack in the middle, right by
Yeah.
the block office
Delta
strip.
and
That used to be
Fairfax.
Crack Central.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was bad. They had the little street
My
cameras.
mom
but
used
I'm
to tell
like,
me about it.
Yeah. No, yeah.
And then she's like telling me how much they cleaned it up. They're like, well, yeah, and it was still like, but,
Still bad, huh?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
you grew up in LA?
Yeah, born and raised.
How was that?
Yeah.
What hospital were you born at?
I
Cedar
was
Sinai?
born in a house. Yeah.
You were
in
born
the,
in a
hills.
house?
Yeah.
You do the bathtub thing?
I think it was on a floor.
Oh
I think
wow.
so.
Uh,
I
who-
asked my mom. I
What,
think so.
who delivered you?
Yeah. I think a midwife.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's a midwife?
Wow.
A lady that helps you give birth at
So
home.
she had
Oh,
a,
so you
she
can-
had a
a type of
natural
nurse.
birth.
Yeah.
So she had it set up. So she was already speaking to like obviously a hospital to
Yeah.
hire one of these women,
Yeah.
and then she just kind of watched her up
Wow.
until
That's
she
what you
went-
do for sure. And then like maybe whenever you start maybe feeling contractions or something, you call them. They
Yeah.
come by.
Well, we've been seeing people out here in Vegas, doing these bathtub,
That's the that's
Thing,
that's
that's
what
like
it
the-
is.
like the
They're just
trend.
they're just advanced
and I'm
now.
like, you know what? Maybe being in water like that, maybe it is easy. Or I don't know. I would fucking pass out if I was. I'm trying to picture like if Maddie could handle.
After
like, hey,
having
bro,
a
you gotta-
baby, and once
I
I,
mean, you
got
should
my
ask someone who's had
epidural,
this
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that epidural all day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I guess if you're doing it at home,
You don't take an epidural.
Do you know? Did she say she got an epidural, or did she just
I mean, the whole point
No,
was
it's natural
just
birth.
natural birth? Yeah.
so
wow.
the baby doesn't get
but
affected.
that's because she's hardcore as fuck.
Yeah.
Did you get affected?
Clearly, look at me.
You
Like-
said it. You said it so the baby don't get affected. Well, you're
Exactly,
here and
like-
you appear to be okay.
Exactly. Just
Strong,
shining
healthy.
example of a man.
Striving for music.
Man.
Thanks, Mom.
You lose a bit of mental illness there, but
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't
trying
know.
to chase music.
Yeah, that you get mentally ill.
So you basically have been in the Hollywood area since being born.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Where did you go to? What high school did you go to? I
Ended up at Hollywood High.
Wow,
How
that
was
one right there
that?
in the mix.
Yeah.
Man,
Next to
bro, I
Intermountain.
used to see that.
Yeah.
and I'd be like,
Yeah.
what the fuck, kids go here?
Yeah.
Because I was walking everywhere. I didn't have a car at
What
the
was
time.
that experience like?
It was, you just like you said, it's in the middle of it. So you'd be at school and you're like, do I want to be here? Do I want to be there? And then you'd climb the fence or fucking find a door open,
Did you?
and,
So being in that high school, I mean,
then I'd steal records from Amoeba. I'm confessing it here. I'm
You
sorry.
could walk there
Amoeba.
and to
Where's the camera?
It's
Guitar
okay.
Center,
They
too.
moved.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You
But I
put 'em out of
figure the
business.
artists hopefully still made money.
Did
I
you,
mean, people were stealing music left and right.
Was there anybody in your school or coming up, anybody that turned celebrity down the road that you remember from grade school?
That
'Cause I think I heard
grew up
that
with?
Alicia Silverstone. I think I
A
heard
lot
she
of
went to
people went to
Hollywood
Hollywood.
High.
Right. Oh yeah, a bunch of people went to Hollywood High, but
Yeah. That's just such a weird place that where it just sits right there, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, who the fuck goes to school here, man? Like, this is crazy.
yeah,
But it's all
interesting.
area. So if like say you live in the hills, like you have to go to that high school. You can't like go to
It's
another
kind of
one.
true
Yeah.
because
Unless
it's
you
a public
have
school.
somebody else.
Well, they have what
Yeah.
do they call it? It's a magnet school, and it's a funny term, but
Magnets.
just magneting kids from different
Right.
areas there.
Oh, like the
So-
top-
Was it?
Yeah.
Was there a? What's the heavy population there? Is it Armenian or Persian or?
at Hollywood High
Armenian.
specifically?
Yeah,
I think it was 90-something% Mexican.
Mexican.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
And then
yeah.
it was
I
like,
lived right by there.
or it was like 80% Mexican, and the rest was like, black, or then it was African American, and then people realized like that's racist to say. So, and then it went back to black, and then
Yeah.
AC/DC
Back
was
to black.
more popular.
Yeah,
That's what happened. Then AC/DC started selling records again.
and,
Yes, we figured it out.
And then Kanye came with White Lives Matter.
Right.
Oh,
and now we're all
Now
confused
we're- yeah,
again.
now
we're
I don't
all-
know what to do.
What about the-
I thought I was supposed to hate white
Now
people.
the Mexicans and Asians are like, what the fuck?
So
Can't we
okay.
all just get along?
So back to the music with you guys. Did you guys get any DJ sets? In LA,
yeah.
in other areas.
That's definitely how we started. Maddie was DJing. I'd been making music and been in punk bands and other bands, and also always been
In bands,
making electronic music.
what were you doing in bands? Were you
I also write other types of music, so it was just another outlet. So I was in other bands playing different things, singing or any instrument, drums, guitar, bass, and then was always making electronic music as well, and that was kind of always my solo stuff. Was always a little more electronic.
Do you
whether it's
ever?
weird or dancey?
I know house people don't normally get on the mic, but do you ever get on the mic during a house set?
Well, we always talk about doing more vocal stuff, but we kind of.
It's a fine line when you do that.
I always
Yeah.
like
It's a fine
other
line.
people getting on the mic for
like
some
an
reason.
MC or something. Just
Or like someone that's gonna
like
sing,
Calvin Harris.
yeah, or just
in
more
the
of that
early
collaborative
days.
idea. That
what
that
were we
idea.
talking about, Domo? When we were talking about it'd be so nice if a DJ was like, instead of saying "put your fucking hands
Or like
up,"
Green Lantern, he takes off his headphones, puts them in, so he gets that effect, and he just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
talks.
I do that.
oh,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
does
yeah.
that? That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
Green. Oh,
Yeah, you can literally speak into
Wait,
your headphone
yeah.
as a
Green
mic.
Lantern.
Yeah.
You talking about Green Velvet?
Green
No.
Velvet.
Green
Green
Velvet.
Velvet, right.
Green
Okay.
Lantern.
Green Lantern
Oh,
is
yeah.
another
No.
hip hop dude.
I've
Oh,
actually,
yeah.
I
I've
was
seen,
like,
I've
hold
actually
on,
seen
hold
Will
on.
pull that maneuver off when we didn't have a mic and we
Yeah.
were trying to do that.
So you did it through the headphone. You did
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
you could do
and
that.
and I think it's like it's more of and Will, if it suits the track, will absolutely
Yeah.
sing on it 100%. And I encourage that as much as I can because he really does have just like what his dad has. He's got that ability. And he sounds really good, ironically. So you have
That
it just
can't be ironically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you're
well,
good-
you
you're
know,
good
It's
genes.
in his
Both
DNA.
sides,
You know
too.
what I mean?
know,
So
right?
Yeah.
so like if it suits the track, absolutely. And we have a couple tracks that are just sitting in our collection with him on it, and and I'm a huge proponent of it always. But also when you get to work with a vocalist that comes in and can lay something down that really does elevate the track,
Do you
that's one of
guys
the best things
ever?
ever,
We had
too.
we had that group here, Loud Luxury, and they were speaking about how they their biggest hit song. I forget what it's called. What's
Body?
it? Body.
Body.
So Body, they said they just found a SoundCloud guy, and they said they gave him a call, and I think they were in L.A. at the time,
Yep.
and he was playing down the street. So they said we went down the street, heard him, and it was like, yo, we'd like to get you on this track, and it became their #1 hit song. So I mean, how do you guys find vocalists if you're looking for someone to do that house type of vocals?
Usually just through meeting people and talking, and if they want to do it, and then you try them out, and
Yeah,
each track is
It's American Idol for
needs-
house
he has-
singers.
yeah, each track needs whatever it needs to,
Yeah.
and so that's another reason why maybe as of yet I'm not on a track of ours that's out or something, because each track, if it called for it and it's going to sound okay, that's what it really needed, then yeah, that's what we would do. But it's just about whatever the track needs, and I think that's why I've always been more of a producer, even more so than like a musician, because I would play drums even though I didn't want to. You know what I mean? I wanted to get chicks and I wanted to be out front. But I played drums sometimes, just because I was like, I'm the only one who can play it here, and whatever it was, it was like, or whatever the track needed. Oh, okay, cool, I'm down. I was just more down to be part of it, because then you'd hopefully still get some pussy after the show.
Exactly.
Even
that's a goal.
being a drummer, because they do get laid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
We
I was
can try
actually
Parker.
I was actually wondering that last night when I was.
You get the more fun ones anyway, being the drummer.
Yes,
Yeah, that's what I learned.
and all
Kids,
the and
kids,
they
if
they
you're gonna pick
literally
any instrument, pick the drums. You get the fun girls.
they want the drumstick.
Yeah, this guy had the sign, and he's like, drumsticks, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta watch out, man. People get hurt with this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what did you expect him to throw it on his face?
So what was it like? I mean, do you have any as a kid? Do you have any memories? Did you ever go out traveling with your dad? Did you ever
Yeah.
move like that?
Yeah,
were
definitely
you
went on
old enough
tour.
to understand what was going on, or?
Yeah, for sure. I went on tour with them, and a few different times when I was really little. Then again, when I was a bit older. Then again, when I was maybe like 15, I worked. Went on the bus with the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
And just like worked like a normal tech, but I mean, the boss's kid still. So, but then I brought like a big old bag of weed, and they're like, "Oh, this kid's cool, man." It's a shout out to the old sound dudes that my dad used to have. They were actually amazing, and we had a great time. And they taught me tons of stuff about like Tower of Power and the best live record ever. And I learned endless amount of stuff. So
Oh yeah. Man,
so it was a learning experience for sure. And you learn weird, random, funny stuff about humanity and celebrity and things like that.
traveling the world, man, just the different cultures and stuff. It's
Even America. I think I really only went on tour around America, and that was big enough. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Besides these shows that he's doing now, I was trying to think to myself, when was he out prior to these current shows?
I
Like,
guess he's always just being on and off, and then I guess COVID and stuff might have stopped things for a little bit.
so he would be doing spot dates here and there prior to COVID, or
or doing tours still, and he was going. He's never really stopped. I mean, maybe a little bit here and there, but always kind of been going, writing new stuff and playing the old hits. So he's never really stopped. Yeah, it's crazy.
No,
He's a madman.
Hey, when it's
What is he gonna do? Sit at home? That's what he said.
Yeah.
We went to the Who the other night, and he kept having the same conversation with everybody. That some old rocker would come up. Oh, hey Bill, how's it going? He'd be like, oh, I'm still doing it. Yeah, still doing it. Yeah. and then lead singer Def Leppard comes by. Bill, oh my God, still doing it. We're still doing it. Yes, we're still doing it.
Yeah, bro. I
But
mean,
and he's like, what am I
Generation
gonna
of
do?
Rock people, they just have endless energy. Like
They
What are
Yeah.
we gonna do? They both said, what are we gonna do?
Crazy.
Fucking not do this?
well,
Yeah.
your dad actually said something on stage, and it really stuck to me. I think he was talking about a drug era that a lot of people go through, and then he was like, I figured out that this high I was getting over here off of these drugs was not better than the high that I get up here on stage. And it's like, me not even being a performer, I knew exactly what he was talking about because I used to put shows together. Now I would be a fucking cracked out mess, but I'm like, but there was still no better feeling than seeing like, okay, I put this show together. This was me. And so I'm like, it's kind of a crazy.
Yeah, whatever you do, that's just what he does, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But it's about whatever you do in life that gives you that purpose and that good feeling,
Yeah. Yeah. So even the people at Pink's Hot Dog, when they make that shit, they're probably like, you know what?
I love those people
Oh
that are
my
happy doing
God.
those
That's
jobs.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, I love
like,
that.
you know what? I
Yeah.
know that this is world famous, and I'm fucking.
it's just more fun. With
Oh,
trucks.
the world famous heartburn. That's all I got from Pink.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chili dogs.
They actually did a. Pink's. What's it called?
Pop up.
No, they did a Pink's over here in Vegas. Definitely not the same as LA, but I think they did it at Planet Hollywood Mall.
Yeah.
So I didn't
It was
really
a different type of heartburn here in Vegas.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same.
probably wasn't the same. So how was it your childhood was he gone a lot all the time?
Yeah, definitely working, busy guy.
Yeah, so something I was speaking to Domo about, I told her, me just, obviously not being the rock star that he is. I have a 17-year-old and I have a 2-year-old.
Right.
And a whole different experience. So when I had the 17-year-old, I told him I felt like I missed a lot of his life. Now he still lives here in Vegas, but I always tell her, I'm like, when I'm not, when you understand, what that person does and how iconic it is, it's not that person doesn't, like I always tell my son knows I love him, but I was telling her, I was like, I grew up in a family where my dad was gone all the time. Mm-hmm. Now I knew he loved me, but he just had this really serious job. Right. So it's just kind of a.
What did your pops do?
He was an attorney. So,
all right.
Yeah,
okay,
for the Detroit Pistons. So,
right.
So he was. I told people. I was telling her a story. I was like, I was really good at sports, and I said something that was really weird to me is, people would always come up to me and be like, "Man, you're really good," and they would keep saying that, and I didn't understand. I'm like, why are all these people coming up to me every single game? They would notice that I didn't have parents there. So it was like they felt bad for me. And I'm like, oh, don't feel bad for me. I got really good parents. They're just very busy people. But that's where I kind of like picked up on that whole thing, they're providers.
Right.
But I mean, I can't imagine, obviously having somebody that iconic is,
right.
You have to, I mean, it's a different lifestyle.
But it's interesting, like you said, even
yeah,
not having iconic parents, just them being busy. So a lot of people go through that. I think the only difference is not everyone or whatever is like bothering you when you go to lunch with your dad or whatever it is. Shit like that. Yeah.
No, we were talking about that. It was crazy. I told her, I was like, man, I don't think your dad can just like walk out in the Cosmo and grab something to eat.
Maybe, maybe now somebody will always like say something, but usually it's cool because they're hopefully kind of more like an actual fan, or they'll just from afar. If it's cool if they just go "Love you, Billy" or whatever, and we're like, that's cool. Yeah. That's what I do to celebrities.
It was really funny.
I just tell them I love you, and then run away.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, because I don't want to fucking bug them.
It was really funny how like I was telling like I was telling like some of my regulars that I was going to a Billy Idol concert, and I never seen like guys were like, can you send me any videos?
Guys want to be him. The chicks want to bang him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm just trying to run away from it. No.
Yeah.
So what does he think about your music? I mean, does he support what you guys are doing?
Yeah, I think he loves that that I took to it. So, he probably also is thinks, "Oh no, is it my fault? Is it all my fault?"
Yeah,
and it is, and Dad, it's all your fault.
It is.
Everything's
music.
No, I really, what's hilarious? I can't even blame it on him. I wish I could, but this other geezer taught me how to play guitar, Jason Kearney. So it's all Jason fucking Kearney's fault.
But you got music on both sides. You got your mom and your pops.
Yeah,
both,
my mom. Yeah, and then she was actually really good at. She taught me a lot of Irish, finger picking, and so she is huge inspiration on my guitar playing, which is really funny.
Well, that's, I mean, when you're traveling like that and you got the, best people, at their crafts training you. Because I know there's so much downtime. I mean, so many times where you're just like stuck at a venue.
Yeah.
And
so
what
to be
is
there.
your guys' goal for your, your music venture? Like, what do you guys? What do you have plans? Like,
yeah,
you want to
I
take
think,
this international?
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Do you guys
as big as it could go?
Do you guys have an agent, like any type of booking agent?
We have a buddy who's starting to look after us, kind of managing wise, but it's all very early on. So it's all. We just started releasing tracks on YouTube. So you said, what's the goal? The goal is at some basic levels, just to make as many people dance as possible.
Have you guys worked with any like real big deal house music DJs?
So it was I think it's 2015 or something. It's a while ago. I guess it's a while ago. That Jillionaire from Major Lazer signed me on Feel Up Records, and so then he got me the gig at Coachella in 2015, I think.
Oh wow!
We did the Heineken tent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and
still Coachella.
I was in there a lot. That's a spot.
That's
especially
a
when
good
it's
one.
hot.
That's
Yeah,
a good one.
AC. chilling,
Yeah,
drinking
hells
beer.
yeah. Oh my god, it was
You
so
would
much
know
fun.
that, Albert.
Yeah, it's so hilarious.
I
Yeah,
was
it was a
down the
lot of
street.
fun, and that was really great. And then I think that label kind of just, I think he didn't have the time to run it. I don't think
He just linked up with Diplo and was like, "Fuck this."
Well, he
Well,
was
even
already
that, he's
he was
out of
already
that.
doing that. He was
Yeah.
already because he wanted to I think make a label, and I think it just kind of it was a bit overwhelming or something. I don't even know, but all I know is that it's not really running. But the guy that I met Jillionaire through, Nick Donito, he runs another label called Mason Fauna. It's out of North Carolina. They put out a couple of my things. They're about to put out another EP, and that's on my solo stuff. But and we've been talking to them about them releasing a ground score thing as well. It's just about whatever's right. And so right now, Berlin house music. Yeah.
So
they're
you
going to be
guys- so
putting
you
out
guys
our
are-
things soon.
You guys are not
so-
only together, but you also DJ separately too.
Yeah, well, you
under your
know,
own-
it's the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
Ground score is both of us together, and it's we never wanted to make it like. That's why when we decided to play here, it was like let's do a live set where it's one of a kind. It's not us just spinning records, like two guys spinning vinyl or CDs. It's a little funny.
Kind of gets fishy when Swedish House Mafia had the three guys.
Yeah. What are they doing? They diddling each other back there? What's going on?
Like, hey, you know what I said? I said they basically quit, and then what was crazy? They came back and me and
Well, they could do that, right? That's a
well,
classic.
me and Domo were like, hey, I think they feel like everybody forgot that there's no such thing as three DJs, and I'm like, but here they come around for that second time to get the bag, and yeah, they sold out T-Mobile
Someone's
Arena.
got to clap their hands. Someone's got to
Well, hey, you know,
shake their ass.
you know what
Someone's
they-
gotta touch this thing a little bit.
Well, this is what they did this time.
I'm not talking shit either.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
here's the
They're
thing.
very talented at doing all those
We
things.
did go to their reunion show.
Yeah, so
here.
here's the
It
thing
was
they
pretty
did
awesome.
that I actually appreciate it because I used to book them for a club Excess out here,
Right.
and booked them together.
Because
So
they're more producers, right? That's kind of the
yes,
idea.
Yeah.
well, the thing was is when you're like you said, you're playing on the maybe the 4 CDJs. 3 people standing there just fucking doesn't make sense. Like as a music person, I'm like, this is fucking retarded. I should have been a DJ. But
Yeah, that's why we definitely like the idea of doing like a live set with loops and we're controlling the whole thing, and it might be a bit more stripped down and a little bit messed up. But
what they did at T-Mobile, and I caught this, and I was like, wow, I was like, man, I'm glad. I'm like, that's dope. So I was telling her, I was like, they had 3 setups, right? And they rotate it. And I told her, I said, the only hot setup is the middle one.
Yeah.
So whichever guy gets in front of the middle one, he's the main guy.
Yeah, right.
So they just kept going and rotating back. And I was like, I'm glad they gave them each guy their own set of turntables.
Right,
'cause
yeah.
that makes it, I guess, a little bit more legit. But it was dope. I mean,
Well, one person has like a pad, so they're like hitting it,
Yeah.
but it's all on beat anyways because it's synced already. So they're just up there, just
Right.
making noises and.
And then what do you think our goal is, Maddie? What's another goal of ours? As ground score.
Yeah, I like the idea of just making people dance. I don't think either of us were really looking too far ahead in the future.
Festivals?
We're very grateful for where we're at and kind of like the attention we're already getting just through releasing like re-edits and just our first 2 singles were signed right off the bat and now this EP coming out, so we're already just getting a lot of love and also like locally from the people that we know in the industry. So I think we're just excited about the future, but ultimately everyone's taking life too seriously. We want to kind of bring back the idea of having some fun and letting loose and with the people you love and meeting new people and so it's just not taking it too seriously, but kind of gearing ourselves towards bringing some joy to some people. Yeah.
Right. I can definitely understand that because, like, when I started to go into raves, I didn't even fucking know who anybody was. I was just like, I just like this music. And then, social media comes, and now you're like, oh, you're that beat that I always listen to.
Yeah, that was the whole idea of house music, starting at the Hacienda in England and stuff like that. The idea of taking the eyes off of the stage and making it about everyone looking at each other and dancing, and that the DJ was just over there
Yeah,
playing
Just
the
the
record.
guys.
You know what was crazy about EDC this year is, I had an experience where we just stood in VIP one whole night, and that was cool. But the second night, I'm like, you know what? I want to move around. Like, I want to actually go see all this cool ass shit. And it was funny because these girls that we were with, they were like, oh, let's go see Dylan Francis. He's on, and I'm like, you know what? I don't even give a fuck. I mean, everybody at every stage is good. So I'm like, and they're all basically playing the same people's shit. It's just their version of it. So I'm like, you know what? Why move around? Like, just fucking walk up to wherever. I don't give a fuck who's spinning. It's all good music. Obviously, at an Insomniac Festival, everybody there is supposed to be there. But yeah, do you guys go to any festivals like that? Do you guys outside of?
I think I used to go to more things when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yep. But
hey, don't make us feel bad, man. I'm in my 40s. I'm still going. I'm still going to damn EDC.
Yeah. I guess the artists change. I mean, what I'm talking about was when I was, I guess, literally a kid. Sasha and Digweed and stuff.
Oh,
damn.
Yeah. So see, that
was my raving day. Yeah. So that was, to me, it was like.
What about Paul Van Dyke?
It was very pure and different, and it's nothing against Dylan Francis and all those people.
Yeah.
I grew up with Dylan Francis a little bit.
Well, see, I'm from Detroit, and like I said, obviously that's the city of techno. We were right there next to Chicago. So I said, I don't know if I asked you this, but this guy over here knew it. But it's kind of an age thing. I said, who was the founder of house music? You guys know that?
I mean,
out of Chicago, there's one guy.
Okay.
He's passed away now, so he's super old school, so I don't expect you to know him. Frankie Knuckles.
Right.
He was,
I was like, not Frankie.
Yeah. So like, and I mean, I'm really connected. A couple guys I'm real cool with. I'm real cool with Bad Boy Bill. We had him here. He's great. He does he does a tour called House Connection with Richard Vision out of LA.
On
and
vinyl.
then what's his name? DJ Ron Carroll. He was the guy who did that song, "The Walking Down the Street with My Nikes On."
Okay, right.
He's actually a really dope house DJ. But are you guys familiar with Colette?
No.
Oh, she's a girl. She's out of LA, but the thing that's cool that she does, what it reminded me of when you said that was, she does the house music and then she sings over her tracks. Right. So she's actually her own vocalist. And I think she's not doing the headphone thing, but I've never seen it, but it looks like a little tiny mic, and she's just singing into it. Nice. So I mean, it's kind of dope, to be able to do that. But I mean, I know she's out there. Everybody pretty much is in LA until they started getting these monster Vegas contracts on this DJ boom.
We're trying to do it, so we're out here.
Yeah.
Ground score.
Yeah, this DJ
the
boom.
Mirage. Come and
trying
sing.
to get a residency.
That's
out here
not
in
the
Vegas.
Mirage.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, bro, you don't want to be at the Mirage.
I'm banned from the Mirage.
I don't know.
You're not cool unless you're banned from the Mirage.
Yeah.
I also got kicked out of Disneyland one time.
Disneyland.
How does that happen?
Oh, man. How does that
You don't want to know.
So who inspires you guys, like,
Yeah.
right now, housewives? Who do you guys like?
I mean,
we put on this dude and just.
I always say old school people, but right now, like, I love Theo Parrish or Jay Dilla, and as far as music.
Hey, where's Jay Dilla?
Yeah.
The God.
Where's Jay Dilla from?
Jay Dilla? Is he Philly? I thought it was Philly.
Detroit, motherfucker.
Detroit.
Yeah, it was a D on it.
Yeah.
Dilla's the shit.
But Carrie Chandler and Carl Cox.
Yes, like Kate
Carl
Tronada.
Cox.
Like,
Kate Tronada's dope. Absolutely. I mean, how can you not like Kate Tronada, man?
Hey, you know what was funny about Carl Cox is, I mean, obviously he's massive. And, here in Vegas, they're kind of, pushing the new shit. If you're not in that top 20, they don't want to fuck with you. And, I think somebody, that looks at DJ Mag, they're, hey, we should book Carl Cox. And so I was telling her one night at Light Nightclub, they said, we're going to do after hours with Carl Cox. Now, Vegas is a very weird crowd. You got 21-year-olds.
Lights at Mandalay.
Yeah, you got 60-year-olds in there. And I'm like,
That's the recipe for fighting.
I'm like, you know what? So there's a line down the street.
Tequila.
Yeah, well, there's a line down the street.
Snake bites in England. They have snake bites.
Yeah, and I'm like, why?
Thing.
So they made it so big, and I mean, it should be big. Carl Cox is massive, but people were in line for hours, and they went in there, and just as soon as they went in there, they came out of there because they just weren't feeling it. But I'm like, Vegas is not. They just knew Carl Cox was big. It's kind of like people that would come to see Deadmau5. he would be playing without his thing on, and people would be like, "Hey, could you tell me when Dead Mouse is coming?" He's fucking been on for the past hour. Like,
It's
what
called
do you?
Unplugged, and it says on the
Yeah.
flyer.
Yeah, Carl Cox is more like Miami.
Well, no, that's what I
Yeah.
said. He didn't
Yeah.
fit the Vegas whatever,
Right.
but people just knew, oh, he's a big name. But when they went in there, they were coming out just as quick as they were coming in, and I kind of felt bad. But I'm just like, hey, Vegas doesn't understand Vegas. You know, I get why they do mashup out here, which is a variety of everything, because you got a variety of everything. Like I said, you got the 21-year-old, you got the 60-year-old. You got to try to find that medium, you know. But
It's scary though, because it's the same thing that like the reason the way music is because the way we digest it or listen to it.
yeah,
We don't even really check out artists anymore. We just I'm gonna get in the tub. Put on bathtub playlist on fucking
Spotify.
Yeah, relax, whatever calming energy playlist. And I get it because you don't want to sit there and like necessarily
Dig for
curate
music,
yourself
yeah.
constantly music. It is nice and
Yeah.
convenient, but I think it is just also it's turned us into a music welfare state where we just
own
suckle at the
nothing.
teat of whatever other person is telling us to listen to.
It's our own
Oh, yeah.
algorithm. We create our own algorithm too. Because if you go
Right.
down and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
like one song, it's just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be nothing of that.
Yeah, I like one Harry Styles thing. So what? Sue me, know.
Yeah.
And now all I get is Harry Styles on my feed.
oh my god,
Fine, I'll get over it.
Yeah, I definitely they say that the big reset is that we're gonna own nothing and be happy, and we don't. You don't really go to music stores and buy vinyls. I mean, do you remember when like Virgin stores and you would buy the CDs back in the day and you'd go to the listening thing? Like that's like
It
kids
has no.
aren't even
It's
doing
just
that.
not a value.
Yeah.
It
Hey,
doesn't
the-
have the value.
the guy that left you your decks behind, he was doing a reset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He left his vinyls. I don't think he had decks. My
Oh, it
my
was
mom
it
had
was
to get me
vinyls?
these
Oh,
like
gotcha.
$400 really bad Newmark ones, and they came with these little shitty speakers. And
Belt drive.
it was great though. It was great. What's that?
They were belt drive. They weren't even like you can't even turn them.
Well, as
To wind them up.
Yeah.
as a DJ, it kind of has to be scary sometimes because I mean, I've went to, depending on who's booking you and where you're playing. I mean, you don't know what they're gonna have set up.
Yeah.
They could have this brand, that brand. I mean, there's just so much shit
Yeah.
that it's like.
Oh, now it is a head fuck. But you just
Is that, do you guys normally bring your own shit?
You just bring a few things, and if nothing will work, you're like, well, shit, I brought 3 things. So I brought my USB stick, fucking, I'm out of here.
Yeah, and typically your eyes are blurry anyways, so you're just looking at a bunch of flashing lights that are in similar places on all of the decks, no matter what company is making them. So you're like, that's probably a filter or something. Sure, and then it was. So you
Yeah.
kind of just guess half the time anyways, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I see that out here, man. So many different setups now, and I don't even understand the whole. You go from one pair of CDJs, now everybody's using 2.
Mm-hmm.
As a DJ, you guys will probably know why they do that.
It depends.
I
Like you got 2 to play the tracks, and then other people load acapellas or breaks on
Yeah.
the other one.
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah, 3. It's very typical now to have like 3 CDJs.
Yeah. So what
And
about?
you can link them all. You can link your one USB into all 3 of them.
Have you guys ever dropped like a hip hop track right in the middle of your set, just out of nowhere?
It's funny. I mean, I've done so much crazy stuff. So yeah, I'll have to say yes.
Yeah, I mean, maybe when we were like
DJ
playing
Dilla
like
fans.
bars, like like the very first time ever, just being like, let's just go out and play together and just see if this is like fun playing together. Like, yeah, we might have just messed around and played whatever was on the computer, but I don't know. It's been a minute.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know like something that happened here in Vegas that we dealt with a lot is, I mean, and I understand when you become a big DJ like that, you're traveling all the time, but I'm like, it got to the point like, we're 2 years into this DJ boom, and I could tell you what the next song Tiesto was going to play because he hadn't changed the set in 2 years.
But those are his songs, to be fair.
Yeah,
Still,
but I mean, I'm
yeah.
just saying it wasn't just him, but it's
Yeah, I get what you're
all
saying.
the DJs.
You don't want to hear Fisher losing it every 5 seconds. And
Oh,
that's how
God.
he gets out here. It does get
And I mean, the thing that I appreciated, a couple of the people, I think Diplo was one, Aoki was one, sometimes Afrojack, they would go with the crowd. They'd start freestyling. And I liked that because I already knew what their set was. I knew what song was coming. and then they'd go off that mark, and I was like, oh, that's
Those
dope.
are the ones that started at bars. And they knew like
It's
how
so
to
true,
build the
yeah.
crowd, you know, like
Or weddings, the place to do weddings.
yeah,
and
all
stuff.
that.
Yeah, the Swedish House Mafia would do it all the time. Something that was really cool one
Steve
time.
Angelo was a hip hop DJ.
Yeah, well, I was going to tell you. So Steve Angelo was playing, and it was EDC weekend, and he went on, I want to say at about 2 in the morning, and 6 in the morning rolls around, and he's still playing. And I mean, he's going from fucking every day I'm hustling to red wine, and like it was the first time he wasn't on his program set, and he fucking killed it. And I'm like, damn, like this is the shit you need to fucking do, bro. Like,
But now he's like, my brand is Swedish House, so we got to push that brand to be just the house DJs, you know.
yeah.
So when they do get that freedom, they kill it because that's where they came from.
Yeah, well, that's why I always wonder
really a
if you
mistake.
need to be in one of those circles. You know, I know like one. You know, what did Steve Aoki have? Was it called Dim Mak?
It definitely helps because
Yeah, well, I mean,
I was in there, homie, like these bigger DJs. It's like your set list is
Yeah.
real estate. If you're
Yeah.
playing the homies, you're in. If you aren't with
Yeah,
the
like
big
if
people,
Diplo's playing one
you
of your
ain't gonna
track,
get
you're
shit.
kind of good. You know,
Yeah.
like somebody like that's playing your track, you're like, all right, it's kind of good.
well, Swedish House Mafia, they had rules. You know, you wanted to book them, you had to book Antoine, which was
little brothers.
Steve Angelo's brother, Max Vangeli. And then there's one other guy, and it's kind of weird
Used
because
to be Alesso. It used to be
Alesso.
Alesso. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think he kind of skated off on
Well,
his
he
own.
became bigger, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's crazy, man. So what do you guys think? I mean, what as far as hip hop, who's your favorite hip hop artist? We're just shifting gears here.
Oh man, I mean,
know his.
yes, let the New Jersey man speak.
Yes.
I'm probably Big L.
New York,
Big
New
L?
York,
Oh,
yes.
Hey, you want to know something crazy? My 17-year-old son, I didn't even know. I mean, I remember the track Big L, Big L,
Of
Big.
course.
But my son was like, hey, he's like, have you ever heard of Big L? And I was like, damn, you know about Big L? That's crazy.
He's coming to it early. That's
Yeah.
good, man.
90s hip
Good
hop.
That might be
music
the
never
right time
dies.
too, because some of it is a little.
Yeah. What about you, Willem? Who you look like a
Yeah.
2 Chainz type of guy.
Wow. I mean, I was
Dated.
into
That's
Dilla
so
growing
dated.
up.
Dilla?
Yeah,
Oh,
like, you
yeah.
know, 'cause
Okay,
I was
so
more of a MPC head and
maybe
stuff.
Far
The
Side?
samples.
Yeah, you know, or RZA because I loved
Ooh.
Wu-Tang, so-
Yeah, Wu-Tang.
Like I liked all those old beats, Mobb Deep and stuff. I just like that old hip hop. you
Primo.
know?
It's
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, dude.
yeah, it's the culture, and I mean, I think they tell, you know, we had DJ Scribble on here, and he was just telling people, you know, when you're involved in something, you need, you know, it's not that you got to flash back, but you need to go back to the roots of it, and then watch how it's grown to what it is today.
And the roots come alive. That live record that changed my life. I
yeah,
also scared the shit out of Questlove one time.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah?
yeah.
I was drunk as shit, and I was standing outside some New York place. I'm not obviously from there, you know, so I was visiting, but whatever. And there's some red carpet, and he's walking on the red carpet. And I was smoking a cigarette, and I threw my cigarette down, and I jumped over the red carpet
Oh,
or the red
God.
ropes.
Yeah.
And he thought I was gonna stab him.
Hey, which
And
Questlove?
he
Which
went like,
one is he?
"Oh my
Is-
God."
The drummer.
the drummer.
He went
Okay.
like that. Dude. He was like,
Yes,
"Oh,
the
don't
big-
touch me! Don't
Big
touch me!"
afro.
Yeah, he's like the
He's like the
main guy. Yeah.
well-known person in the group.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's true. Anyway, but yeah, he said, "Don't touch me! Don't touch me!"
Oh
and
my
I
god.
said, "Man, I'm sorry. I just want to say you changed my life." And he's like, "Get the fuck away from me!"
Yeah. Well, you know what? You know, like nowadays, I mean, obviously, you know, rest in peace to Takeoff, but obviously you see how stuff can be like that. You know, like I'm still in my head, I'm like, how in the fuck were these 2 guys from
That's
Migos
extreme,
at
though.
a fucking
Takeoff
bowling
was at
alley
a-
at 2:30 o'clock in the morning with no
Yeah.
security? And like, what are they
Yeah.
That's
doing?
the thing. What are they doing there?
What are they doing? You know, it doesn't make sense, but I mean, but that's why I think people get, you know, so afraid
Yeah.
to run up on
Well, it's
people.
because white people are crazy, man.
White people
Yeah,
are
they
crazy.
yeah, they yeah, I'm gonna have to agree.
You gotta
After.
look out for those white people.
Are you a fan of Jeffrey Dahmer?
Oh, God.
I tried to watch the show or whatever, and
Yeah,
I
you
got
should
to
know
like
a
5
crazy white
minutes of
boy.
that shit.
Yeah,
I
do.
like
One of the
Homeboy who
craziest-
played him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
said,
yeah,
they
he's
said
good.
he looked
Evans?
very like dead on,
Right.
similar to him.
Sure, but
He's a good actor. Yeah,
right,
he
exactly.
kills
But
it.
I just don't want to watch that story unfold.
Yeah, that's how I was.
Yeah. What?
That's how I felt too.
Yeah.
I
What,
feel
uh,
like it's like a negative
Everyone watched the
energy.
first
Yeah, it for
5
sure
minutes.
what
No one watched the rest of that
Yeah.
show.
are you into numerology?
A little bit.
What are your numbers? What's your favorite number?
My pops always had us. Our family number was 13. So I got a little 13 tattoo somewhere. It's a
tight.
typical tattoo, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so and it makes a B, which is our last name. But anyway, so but what else? Yeah, I mean, then I went to Ibiza when I was a kid, and this lady was obsessed with the angel numbers like 1111 and 333.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't know if you noticed.
Shit, okay.
I got the 111s, the 1111
Yeah.
spelled like that.
There you go.
And like I said, a lot of people say, they get into numbers and whatever. And again, I don't even consider myself spiritual.
Right.
This has been with me since being born, my whole life. So I'm like, my first tattoo I got, that was my number in high school.
I was gonna say, what's your soccer number?
11. Yeah. So I'm like, it's all, people always ask
We
me.
couldn't get 11, it was 12. Man.
Yeah. Hey, you know what?
10,
Hey,
like, all right, I'll get
you know what was weird?
Fuck that guy that was 11, man.
I actually ran track, and they just dispersed uniforms, and I actually became 111 on track, which was good. But yeah. All right, what about stones? Any stones? What's your stone?
My ex was all into crystals, so I'm gonna say fuck that shit.
Yeah, you're a fucking.
Oh,
Hey, listen.
That's witchcraft.
Listen, I just want to let you know, being that you said you were a Gemini. I didn't
Rose
even
quartz,
know.
I think, is my.
Again, I don't follow that stuff. I'm Sagittarius. But
We're good friends because we're opposite ends of the chart.
Yep.
good. Well, one thing that I realized.
Get along easy. Actually, my dad's a Sagittarius.
Yeah, we were
really?
we were talking, and I was like, I actually tattooed the Gemini symbol on the inside of my ankle, because I said the last 4 girls I dated were Gemini, and I'm like, and they're like, well, why would you tattoo? And I'm like, so they knew that I'm not fucking afraid of you guys, because motherfuckers are crazy, man. All you Gemini, shout out to all the Geminis.
What's up?
Isn't Kanye?
Jomo and I have the same birthday,
we
everybody.
have the same birthday.
Have the exact same date?
Birthday, yeah.
15.
Oh my
That
god.
tripped me out.
Birthday.
I know.
What's your number, Maddie?
I've never met anybody with
Yeah, what's Maddie's?
My number?
Yeah.
46.
46.
Wow.
Yeah.
See?
Why is that?
That's
Just
keeping
46?
No, I keep that to
number
myself.
one.
That's
Oh,
I
okay.
keep
I'm
that
sorry.
close to the heart.
Sorry. Didn't want to get too
how about you?
intrusive.
How about
you, Albert?
I just keep it
No,
simple with the number
I don't
one.
know. I've always liked it. My first girlfriend, that was her favorite number, and I was like,
I like that.
yeah, she played hockey, like
Oh, that is a
men's
hockey
ice
number.
Wow.
and
Yeah.
she was like a petite blonde, but she was like fearless. And I was like, that's the most badass number ever. So
I'll
I'm
take
just
a
gonna.
46.
It's just
Yeah.
every other number went, but that number stuck with me.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm like really loyal. I'm a Leo, so like once
Oh.
something like hits me, it's stuck with me for life. It's like branded on me. So
Have you guys pressed any vinyl with any of your
that's so
tracks?
expensive.
It's fucking no. That's
Like,
that's why
especially at this point. Like if we ball, and at some point it'd be cool. Yeah.
I asked you that because Bad Boy
Life
Bill
goals. Life
and
goals.
Richard Vision, if you guys watched the episode with
Right.
Bad Boy Bill on here, when they went out again, they called it a back to vinyl tour, and I think he said it was 10 grand per album, and I forgot how many. I'd have to go back and watch.
They were pressing songs that they had on their record box. Like, okay, I want to play this. I can't play it unless it's on vinyl. So they would send that song and have it pressed, not just their records, but every record they're going to play on the tour. So that's why it was that expensive.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Do you guys ever do vinyl sets? Have you done one?
Yeah, hells yeah. Not too long ago, for a friend's going away thing at our favorite bar in LA, Monty Bar. It's totally the
Monty
spot.
Bar.
Yeah, it's totally the spot to do it. It's like it's just very calls for it.
And you guys said you recently ran into the Houston brothers.
I guess so. Yes.
Shout out to them. I don't even know what their bars
Shout
look
out
like
to
in
the
LA,
hats.
but their bar here in Vegas is the shit.
It's smooth. Oh,
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
very cool.
It's
yeah,
a-
they're nice guys.
It's in a really weird hotel, but it is probably the most intricate, dopest like bar.
They probably
Very
picked it. They
music
probably picked it like
oriented.
that for a reason.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is weird.
Do you walk through like a weird door to get into it?
They do
do they
actually
do
have
that?
they have a door that's actually all tapes.
Yeah, yeah,
And-
yeah.
Like cassette tapes?
It's cassette
Oh,
tapes.
Shit, nice.
You can push that and you kind of go into like a VIP bar, but everything about it's music. So like the floors, the ceilings is vinyl, just everything.
Yeah.
It's
I feel like we should take you guys there.
yeah. I heard something that I did hear. I heard their bars in LA are even doper.
Yeah, yeah.
And I haven't been to any, but I think I heard they own multiple venues out there.
Yeah, it's like the type of spots that have like lit up disco dance floors and shit. Like it's
Yeah, where did
it's
you
always
guys?
an
Where
event.
did you meet them at? The
Uh, um, after Will was playing on the Rocks after his dad was playing a show.
Oh, at the Roxy.
Yeah,
so they
at
came
the
to his-
Roxy.
Oh,
and,
yeah. So
and
they came to his
yeah,
dad's show.
we were
Cool.
playing a little post show, and then I walk in and he's already getting chopped up. So.
That's
Bro,
such
hey,
an iconic
those-
venue, like all those old
Yeah.
rock LA venues.
Yeah,
like,
no, I kept
Sunset
hearing.
Boulevard.
Yeah. So who's the person doing the your dad's lives? Because it was weird when I called you. By the way, the other day, I was like, I didn't realize that it was the day you were playing. I was
No
like, God,
worries,
I was
no
like, God
worries.
damn it! It came up, and then your dad was on a live. But I'm like,
Yeah.
when we were at the show last night, he popped up on live again. So I'm like, I wonder who's doing his live because
Right.
you know they did it really good.
She who shall not be named.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and then I heard that you know what I kept hearing people at the Roxy say is I kept hearing people like, man, when are you ever gonna get the chance to hear somebody like that at such an intimate venue?
Right.
You know, and I
yeah,
mean,
it was because
I-
it was a benefit gig. Yeah.
it was for a cancer gig, right?
Well,
Yeah, it was for
It
his,
was
his
funny when
Yeah.
you posted that on your social media, and then I was driving to work and I saw the billboard for his shows out here.
Right.
And so I thought,
It was for that.
yeah, I was like, oh shit, you're gonna be playing in Vegas?
Well, yeah, it was for his, his long time hairstylist slash confidant or everything
Well,
on
hey,
tour.
Shout
So-
out to her for doing
Yeah.
a good job
Mitzi,
because
yeah,
he's
yeah.
probably got the greatest hair ever for.
Oh,
for-
yeah, she's a really sweet
The
lady too.
stylist is definitely on point.
On point, yeah.
Yeah, she's a lovely lady, and so hopefully all this
How did
helps.
how did the people at the Roxy, how did they feel about the house music?
Right. It's funny.
Yeah.
No,
It's
everything.
basically
well,
your dad's crowd to house music.
Yeah.
So how did that? Even though there was
I
probably
thought
Roxy's on-
afterwards it would have been fine. Like during the show or at the Roxy, I played some funky stuff. It wasn't even necessarily all. I didn't do whatever. I played some weird shit, and then afterwards, I just thought, okay, it's over. It's break out your fucking take some acid, do some lines of oxy. I don't know, blow some coke up some dude's ass. I'm not sure what goes
Boof.
down, but
Boof it up.
boofing or normal Wednesday night on Sunset.
Just
What?
typical Hollywood
Roxy
shit.
shit.
Well, yeah, we were all boofing. My dad was there. He was boofing. It was great. This is gonna be in the press.
I don't know why
Yeah.
that
Billy
reminds me of
Idol's
South
boofing.
Park, like when Kenny's getting,
Oh gosh.
Billy Idol caught boofing again.
Yeah, you said Kenny from.
I just want to say it as many
Yeah,
times as
yeah.
I can. So
Yeah.
there's a sound bite out there that makes it out to the. I'm totally kidding. My dad was not boofing.
Yeah.
Watch, his girlfriend will go
Allegedly,
spreading this rumor
allegedly.
around
Just a
everywhere.
little clip.
Yeah.
Yes, Billy was boofing. I swear.
Yeah.
It'd be that.
I heard Billy
boof. Billy's boofing.
Billy boof. No, my dad does not boof.
So
I mean, I don't know actually.
He's a rock icon.
Nothing wrong
That's
with it.
awesome.
Nothing wrong with it if
Yeah.
you did boof.
yeah,
Okay.
Domo. Like I said, Domo was putting him in the
Exactly.
category with the big. Who were you saying? You
What?
you were putting him in the category with like the
Legends, living legends.
Oh no!
yeah, yeah.
I was
Prince.
like looking back at all the music and stuff, and I'm like, I didn't even realize like he really is kind of iconic. And even when I told everybody that I was going to the show, I mean, I had more dudes that I knew were just like, oh my god.
Just the name Billy Idol
Right.
is iconic, Just the
It was
name.
Very
crazy.
rock and roll.
We had across recording at the studio across from us a singer named Man. He was the guy who kind of did that song, and it feels like money. And he's like, "Hey, where are you going?" And I'm like, "The Billy Idol concert." I'm like, and he's like, he just had a blank look on his face, and I'm like, "How old are you?" And he's like, 31. And I was like, "You don't know who that is?" And he's like, "No." He's like a hip hop guy, but I'm like, "What?" Like, you didn't see The Wedding Singer or all these
I
awesome
know, right?
movies?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like he was in a ton of movies.
That really did, do something for him big time.
The movie
Yeah.
soundtrack
Yeah,
stuff.
well, for young kids, I think it kept him.
Yes. Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
it made him relevant again.
For sure. So, all right. Well,
Because I always look at that, like making it relevant again. It is funny, and it's such a funny term, right? But I guess
Yeah.
for kids, that term would make sense.
It's just reinventing yourself. You kind of have to.
yeah, or
after 5
like
years every time.
you are whatever you are to whoever it is.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know. I definitely know my pops didn't take that movie like it's gonna make me relevant with the kids.
Right.
Right.
But he was like, "Oh, my son loves Adam Sandler.
yeah.
This would be fun." You
Oh,
know?
yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I actually
so-
heard Adam.
And then
Sandler
it
was
literally, though, years later, you end up looking back and kids know him because of that movie.
Right.
And then they do know the music, or if they would just know the song. If they, they'd be like, "Oh, I know that song," but like,
give
they wouldn't
man 2
necessarily-
years,
Yeah.
he's gonna go down that rabbit hole when he's listening to like that old school 80s.
I'm surprised.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
surprised because man is he's one of these acid shroomy type of guys. I'm
That's what I'm saying.
actually
Give him a year.
I'm actually
I mean,
surprised.
don't put his shit out there, but I had some great stuff from him for Life is
Yeah.
Beautiful.
What about so I don't I mean I don't know what how people go about doing it, but I mean have you ever considered remixing one of your dad's tracks?
For some best of or something that came out, a buddy and I did like a trap remix of one.
Now when people do that, I mean
wow.
obviously it's different, you're his son, but in order to do that, like if you were going to do that for someone else, you have to get permission, right? Is that
Whoever owns his
permission? Is it
publishing,
permission
right.
from your dad, or is it permission from a record label, or?
Right. Yeah. So he just came to me, or if it was just like any artist, if they came to you and were like, "Hey, will you remix my song?" You're like, "Okay." They give you the stems.
Yeah.
And obviously they've given you permission.
But his
'cause they
dad has
asked
to
you
own his own publishing. That's why he's able to do that because there's a lot of rock.
Or maybe he didn't even, and the record company or whatever it
Yeah.
was still came to him and said, "Hey, will you find some artists that'll remix them?" I don't know.
Dude,
how.
there's so many people.
Yeah,
I
I
believe
don't know how
that-
much he owns of his own music or whatever. All that stuff's crazy. So
It's all wild.
Yeah.
Politics.
it's insane.
Politics.
And it's funny because my pops is in this field and I have no clue.
Yeah, I feel like we need to put a Billy Idol album in here now.
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. I'm sitting here looking as you're saying Wu-Tang. You got Wu-Tang right over your head. So
Sick.
got a variety.
ODB is one of my favorite for sure.
Oh man, yeah. I'm gonna tell a really
Yes.
quick ODB story, and then we're gonna get out of
Sick.
here. But I had ODB one time at a rave, and I had done multiple raves with Wu-Tang. So I would always people were like, "You can't do that. You can't mix hip hop with electronic," and I'm like, "You can. It has to happen at midnight on the dot. They can only do 2 songs right before the roll hits on everybody." And so we had done the Wu-Tang a couple times, and RZA, I think that's his cousin, but RZA's who I did all the dealing with. And RZA said to me, he's like, so I'm like, I'm doing ODB solo. And so the morning that of the event, I have all these missed calls from a New York number. So I call it back, and I'm like, hello? And he's like, yo, this is Dirt Dog. I'm not coming. And he hung up, and I was like, I didn't even know. Yeah, I didn't even know what that fucking meant. I was like, so I called the RZA and I said, bro, there's some guy, and he's like, Dirt Dog. He's like, that's ODB. And I said, yeah, he told me he wasn't coming, and he's like, don't trip, bro. We'll get him on the plane. Missed 3 flights. Ends up getting to Detroit probably at about 11 p.m. And then again, it spilled over the time. So now it's 2 in the morning. ODB's finally there. Everybody's rolling balls. And he gets up there, and I'll never forget this. He gets up there, and he looks out in the crowd, and he's like, I hate white people. That was the first thing he said. And I'm like, everybody, you just see the whole crowd just like, and he goes, I hate white people. They made me come. And he goes, but let me tell you something. He's like, before I leave, y'all going to be a bunch of niggas. And then he took a waterfall piss off the stage. The DJ decks were on cinder blocks. He kicked those over. And then he did probably the best set I've ever seen in my life. Got done. A week later, I get a call from the hotel. They said, this guy's roaming around naked. He's still here. You need to get him the fuck out of here. My boy gets in a car, drives him back to New York. Once they get to New York, he's getting evicted out of his thing. And he's just like, hey, fuck it, Phil. Let's go. So my friend's name was Phil. Now they're driving down the highway. They get pulled over. He has no license. And he was like, hey, what's your name? And my friend's name was Phil Robinson. And so the police come up and they're like, license and registration. And he's like, I don't have it. And they're like, what's your name? And he's like, Phil Robinson. and they were like, we know who you are. Get out the car. So it's like, it was from every perspective. I'm like, I like had to grill my friend. I'm like, what were you thinking? And he's like, bro, it was fucking crazy. He's like, he didn't give a fuck that all his shit was
an
out there.
original artist. He's just like, he doesn't care.
Rest
He's
in
just
peace.
living, Like,
Yeah,
Rest in
so.
peace, ODB.
But anyways, we really appreciate you guys coming. I look
Thank you,
forward
guys.
to watching
Thank
your
you for having
guys'
us.
set,
Thank you.
and hopefully next time you guys are here, you guys will be world famous.
We'll get you guys a residency here in Vegas.
Yes.
When that-
At On the Record. You better follow up with them
Yeah.
Houston brothers. Those guys are cool. So
Yeah, and check out our single
Yes.
coming out.
Hang on, where can we-
Berlin House Music?
yes, and where can we find you? Both of you guys can say your
at Instagram, ground score.
GRNDSCRE.
Yep, and then
you
on,
would spell it all crazy.
Yeah, on YouTube, Berlin House Music's going to be releasing our EP in December.
And what are your guys' individual Instagrams?
I'm at Willem Wolfe. That's my name.
And I'm at You Must Create,
You must create. How do you spell
Love
that?
that.
just like you would write
With
it.
the U or just the whole Y-O-U?
Like Y-O-U.
And where can they find you at, Domo Monster?
Domo Monster 7.
Okay, and you can just find me. I'm on Green Room Radio. And how about you, Albert?
Albert Ramirez, DJ, everywhere.
All right. All right. Thank you guys for coming
Thank
by. We
you.
appreciate
Thank you so
it.
much.
Peace.
Rock and roll.